Guys, without further ado, let's get started. I don't think you guys even know the title of the podcast yet, huh? Maybe only a few of you. But this is what we're going to do, okay, guys? This is going to be our first ever podcast. It will be also recorded and uploaded to YouTube after in case you miss it. So without any further ado, let's get into the first episode of Shining Light with Torchy and Mike, okay? So here's how it's going to go down. This is going to be a podcast series where we kind of shine some light on the lives of your favorite streamers, personalities, and other fellow viewers. That's right. I want to get some of you guys in on this podcast in the future, okay? We're going to start off with our own group, the people that are really close in this Buff Crew community, and branch off into those that, and hopefully meet some really, really cool people in the process, okay? So like I said, it's going to be myself, your host, as well as my co-host, Mike. You guys know BGMichael. He's going to be the co-host for this show. And for the first episode, I figured why not make it official and have him be our first guest. So without any further, dude, I'm just so pumped. Guys, let's get underway with the podcast. Boys, we got to get Mike in here. Boom, baby. Let's go, Mike. Let's go, dude. Mike, how are you, man? Welcome. Thanks for being here, dude. Check. I think you might be on mute. Are we live?
Bam! You know what's crazy is when I did that, I thought to myself, man, I'll push this button. And I'm gonna hit unmute on Discord. I'm gonna forget about this. And it happened.
It's
That's
okay,
up,
dude.
man.
No, it's okay, dude. Hey, man. Dude, honestly, oh boy, dude. We've been talking about this for a long time. And it's finally happening, right? Like, we've been talking about going back and forth about a podcast or some sort of like talk show or something for a while now. So I'm really, really excited to have you on, have you as the co-host, and in future episodes, we'll be able to have some fun with this. But thanks for being here,
dude,
man.
As soon as you DM me with this offer, man, I knew I was gonna do it in a heartbeat because, like, I don't remember how long ago it was. It was like 6, maybe 9 months. I feel like 9 months is a little too long.
Time. It was,
But
yeah, it was something like that.
you and GT were kind of talking about it a little bit, and I just kind of like put it out there in the Discord, like, dude, I'll be the first guest on, and we will never stop talking. We'll go on and on forever.
Yeah.
And we kind of like, oh, yeah, that's cool idea, and it's pretty awesome that it's actually happening. And yeah, man, it's an honor from you, man. Thank you. Really,
Absolutely,
seriously.
dude. Yeah, no, for sure. And like I said, what I wanted to do was definitely just have you on as the first guest, because in the future we're going to be doing this show together. So I wanted people to get to know you because you've been here for such a long time. Like, you've been here nearly from the start. We met in solo queue. You were playing the classic Lee Sin, the iconic Lee Sin that we all know and love. And I think I just remember, like, I linked my Twitch or something like that, and then I just said, like, yo, you want a duo or something like that. And from there, we're just dominating games back to back to back. Of course, it was in bronze, so there's nothing really to brag about. But I mean, there was easily some sort of like immediate chemistry between us that we were able to just carry our victories forward and just have a blast. And you've been here for so long, so I mean, honestly, it's been super cool to kind of get to know you more and more. And that's why I wanted to have you on in the first episode, because you're always around, but some people may not know exactly who you are. So I kind of wanted to like give you this opportunity to at least, like, officially introduce yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you're always here. People always know who you are. So with that being said, I mean, Mike, who are you today, man? Who are you?
Man. All right. So honestly, just like I was talking with Torchy or Jack prior to the stream starting, man, I really think that this question, like, we kind of have this little, question rubric that we're going, and it's the smallest question on here, man, but I think it's honestly kind of the hardest one. And I kind of wanted to take it on a serious note because I've been a whole lot of things in my life. I've been like, and honestly, a lot of like bad things, like immature and, bad decision making. But over the last 3 years, man, I've like really, really done like a lot of hard work personally to change who I am. And I'm like very proud of it, man. So, like, today, dude, honestly, I'm like hyper competitive, but like with the ability to not make it as personal as I used to. Because I used to like always so competitive, even when I was a kid, man, just always wanting to like it's gonna sound kind of funny saying it, but like just wanted to dominate in everything I
Yeah.
did, like
Yeah.
everything. And when I was younger, I used to like take losses and take like criticism just the wrong way, man. And I used to take it personally, and it used to like fuel me in a negative way. And I think I've just been able to, with the help of you guys, honestly, this like whole community has been a big part of it. Like just change how I look at criticism. So today, man, I'm a super ridiculously competitive individual, man, but who is not toxic. So that's what
Not
we're gonna do.
toxic, dude.
Not toxic.
I feel the same way. Like, I mean, I grew up playing sports. I mean, I wasn't the best because I was always the smallest person, like on the field. I was playing basketball, football. I tried a little tennis. I ran track in high school, and like I've always been a competitive person, and I think that's kind of where that's where some of my faults come out. And like, I mean, I guess I want to take the time real quick to just anybody that is a part of this stream that has played in our games before, and if you've ever felt personally attacked, I want to apologize, and I don't want you to feel that I'm personally like attacking you and just like being toxic. I do take the losses poorly sometimes on my part, and I want to own up to that real quick, before we get going, just because I do feel bad afterwards. Like, honestly, when I get off stream, sometimes I feel like, oh man, dude, I said some mean things, or I did some bad stuff to these guys that don't deserve it. And you want to know the reason why, everyone, is because I think so highly of you guys and your ability and potential that I know that when we have a 5-man stack and we lose a game sometimes, or if we're playing something and we just lose a game and we throw it, I'm just like, I just know that we're so much better. And when we are on fire, we are unstoppable, guys. And you know this. I mean, what is our record right now? I'm pretty sure we are only one loss in the stream wars, like, and things like that. And that's all I gotta say. I just wanted to take a minute to just apologize to anybody that may have felt personally attacked by me, and that's my fault. And I want to try to do better. So
Yo, for real. Everything you just said applies for me too, man. Because sometimes we be taking some losses, and sometimes I'll be, you know,
we're a little
nowadays I'm a little
quiet, and I
more.
mean,
Nowadays I'm a little beater on the bush with it, but before I
yeah,
used to be a bit more like straight in your face with it. So, I hope
yeah,
nobody is like. I would never want like for one day somebody to like come back with something that I've said, when I was younger, because that would be terrible, and I see that happening all the time. So dude, I honestly, Jack, same thing, bro. I apologize if I ever made anybody feel like shit either, man. Honestly,
yeah,
and league chat bans, dude, those things actually make you feel bad when you got to
yeah,
look at that thing that you said. You're like,
yeah,
oh man, dude, why did I
yeah.
say those things? Like,
That's
come
what I'm
on,
saying,
man.
dude.
I don't know, it's incredible.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just one of those things, and it's nothing personal, guys. Like, when it comes down to it, it's like some days I'm a little tired, some days I've had a long day, some days it's just like some other outside forces may just come into the stream, and I got to work on that kind of stuff. So I just want to take the time real quick, but
That's
um,
savage.
yeah, dude. I mean, moving forward, we're obviously going to be doing a lot of discussions about gaming and then moving into some real life stuff, with the podcast and with our guests moving forward. But I mean, gaming is such an important. I think it plays such an important role in my life, your life, and obviously some of the people here. That's what Twitch is about. It feels like, and I just wanted to
100%.
know, like, who are some of your greatest influences in like the gaming realm, in the gaming culture, in the gaming environment. It could be esports, it could be YouTuber, it could be whatever. I mean,
I feel that. Yeah, so first person that comes to mind instantly blows up in my mind's Nade Shot. As I started off playing Call of Duty as well, and growing up, like searching on YouTube videos how to get better at Call of Duty, the first couple of people that would pop up were people like Optic Scumpy and Nade Shot.
yeah,
And a lot of the times you see like there's kind of this split. It's like this was like a big decision in like COD players' lives was like this YouTube click of either clicking Scumpy or Nade Shot.
yeah,
Because like a lot of people in the COD community will say that these guys like, especially if they're in this realm, that one of these two guys is like kind of one of their like big inspirations or influences. And like
yeah,
what Nate Shot's doing now with 100 Thieves, man, like I connect to 100%. I feel for that 100,000 million percent. Nate Shot kind of has the same background that I do in terms of like where he's come from and the stuff he's been through, and maybe not with the same amount of hardships or even different hardships, because I could never imagine losing my mother, like never in my whole life,
right,
even think about that, that's a horrible thing. So, it's like different hardships, but I would
Absolutely.
definitely say Nate Shot number one, because just and one thing that really impressed me, I want to touch on this with Nate Shot,
Go
is
ahead.
he really showed his business savvy and his ability to go out there and get it done when he secured Dan Gilbert's investment. When you're able to go out there and get a man like that, a billionaire who has so many things he's already doing, and he will take time out of his day to listen to your dream and your idea, and then you secure that investment. At that moment, I feel like all criticism about Nade Shot in terms of him starting his team should have dropped, because that is a huge, huge, huge moment, man. And I know personally, like, what it means to go out there and like negotiate for yourself with the managing social medias. You go out there and you're trying to basically sell yourself to the company and show them that you can bring more to the table. And that's literally what Nate Shot did, and he secured the biggest bag. And now look at the rosters that man's got. Like, seriously. So
Yeah.
that's a huge reason, man. I really love stuff in the business world, so I take my hat off to him 1,000,000% for just for that. And then number two would have to be Dr. Disrespect, only because I think there is something that is not like talked about in terms of staying in character. That is
Yeah. It's
hard.
hard.
That
It's
is,
really impressive that
and
he's
to
able to.
do it at the level he does it, yeah, man. It takes real dedication, and especially through like this last little scandal, man, with like, him
Yeah.
and his wife, like,
Yeah.
man, and he's still trucking along. Dr. Disrespect. That man is that's that has to be great influence as well, man, just to show you, regardless through all the stuff, his house is getting shot and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. It's hard not to be influenced greatly by things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
And
mean, yeah, go ahead.
go ahead, brother. Go
No,
ahead, brother.
I was just gonna say, like, with the doc, it's just crazy because, like you said, he's literally putting on a show like every stream. It's
Every one of them. And he
some, yeah,
streams a lot,
yeah. He streams
and it's
all the
entertaining.
time. It's entertaining. There's never a dull moment with the doc, and like some people base their streams and their personalities off of who they are and like being genuine and stuff like that. And just the idea of creating this character and running with it and just keeping it going for so long. And I mean, there's only been, I think, a handful of times that obviously he's gone out of character, and one of those is with with the scandal and whatnot. But like, it's so impressive. It's truly a performance, and I think that's what is the most impressive about him. And that's probably, I mean, that is definitely why I think he's so successful. Is it's a true art form, and like it's a performance art, like it really is.
Literally. That guy
So
took the Dr. Disrespect idea. And for anyone who's seen Forrest Gump, when Forrest Gump is in college and he gets that kick, the kick return, and he just hauls ass through the
yeah.
band and everything. That's literally Dr. Disrespect. That dude, when he had that idea, literally catch that, and he's running through everybody. You know how much criticism you get early on for that? You know how much bullshit you take from
Yeah.
just your
Mhm.
peers for the people that actually know him personally when he first started doing that, probably looking at him as a grown ass man. Like, literally, just think of, like, there's so many criticism in today's world, man, that I just take my hat off to people that can do stuff like that, man. Today, hating on success is cool. Hating on people who are doing great things is the end. And so I don't agree with that, man.
Yeah.
I think these people are doing something right, man. Like, they're there for a reason, regardless of what they're doing. You know what I mean? And I think that we should all just like be happy for them. There's a lot of negative energy. I don't mean to spew the
Yeah, no,
conversation a
no,
different
it's
way, but
no,
it kind
it's
of
true
ties in,
though. It's
but
really
it's just,
true.
it's awesome. I actually, if you don't mind, this kind of ties right into the next subject too, about who kind of are my biggest influences, because there's a couple people that I wanted to touch on in terms of real life that I think are like top of the line people. If you want to get your mindset right, man, just motivated, like attack what you want to do, man. I'm gonna name two people off, and I think that they're like legendary in terms of mindset:
Yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk
Absolutely.
and
100%. That's my guy.
Kobe Bean motherfucking Bryant. There's
Bro.
Kobe Bryant, bro.
Yeah.
These two people, literally, when I was growing up, I idolized Kobe like on
Me too.
another level. It's
Yeah.
actually kind of, I'll be honest with you, it's a little weird. I seen Kobe Bryant's last game at Minnesota. He played against the Timberwolves, and I'll be honest, I was sitting there with my dad. I was 18, I was basically an adult. I was man crushing like a mug, bro. I had never seen him in person. I was like, look at him do his jump shot. Look at him land on his feet. Oh, are his knees okay? You know, I'm sitting there like, oh, be careful, Kobe. Like, come on, man. But
That's
you know,
too
I just
funny.
think that that Mamba mentality, man, that dude is a killer at
Yeah.
everything he does. And I think it proves, man, this man's writing children's books, dude, short stories, and he's winning. What are the award for like short stories that you can win? He won, I forget it. Like it's, you know, there's like an academy for uh oh no, sorry, he actually won an Grammy or whatever the movie is thing
Kobe,
for short
yeah, he
story.
won. Yeah, he
Yeah,
won.
dude.
It was, I don't know what,
Like
I always
I
mix up the
forget it's
awards, but
Oscar, Grammy, you know,
let me
I
see.
forget it too. But yeah, dude, like that just shows, man, a person who like will who has that mindset to just attack, man, is a cold-blooded killer in his craft and his
Yeah,
just pursuit at you know whatever he's trying to attack, man. And Kobe Bryant is just top tier, man. The same thing with Gary, man. Gary V, I think, is a lot easier to like connect with because he's all over the place on YouTube and stuff, you know, and
yeah,
Twitter and Instagram. But that guy's great, man. Like you can't say no things about Gary V. Honestly, I've read all his books. I have them all somewhere. Like I would recommend, like you watch that guy once a day, every day, honestly, till you
yeah,
pass away. Like that guy is like that guy. Sure, sometimes he's off the wall with his like extremists when he comes to like, you know, like doing hard work because you know sometimes people just can't
yeah,
work that as hard, you know. But like
yeah.
that guy is just great in terms of if you need some motivation on the spot, man. Go ahead and just YouTube Gary V. What do you
Yep.
think though, bro? Because I also
No,
kind of want
yeah,
to.
yeah. I mean, okay. Well, first, I just googled it. Kobe won an Oscar for the
Yeah,
animated short film Dear Basketball. But no,
crazy man.
I agree. I mean, Gary V for me is like my go-to outside of gaming, just everyday life motivation. Um, you're right. He definitely has a very abrasive personality, but it's something that I sometimes think I need is like just a very aggressive, like tell you what you don't want to hear kind of personality, because I mean that's just what he does. And I don't know, his just he I don't know what it is about him, man, but it just gets me super pumped up and motivated to, especially in the realm that we are in with Twitch and YouTube and all that stuff and Instagram right now. Like his his ideals behind his content grind is like just everything that I need to
Double
hear,
down on
you know.
yourself. Like
Yeah,
that's all you just dude.
yeah,
That's amazing. Double down on yourself. Like I
yeah,
heard that and I was just like, at first it's just like in one ear out the other, man. But now, man, as a 21-year-old dude who's like, it means something completely different, man. And it's kind of crazy what just a few years can do. Just a few years of like growing up and a few years of
yeah,
experience can do, man. And it just, you know, what it really makes me think is, what will my mindset be like when I'm 25? What will my
yeah,
mindset be like when I'm 31? You know what I mean? Like if I'm,
yeah,
because we're changing so much, you know. It's I don't know, it's awesome. But yeah,
yeah,
go ahead, brother. Tell me.
yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, no, I mean that's really cool. And we've already kind of gone into the next thing that I wanted to touch on. What I want to do though is just a lightning round of just I'm gonna give you favorite blank, favorite person from blank, right? So, I'm gonna give you a list. Just spit out some names, and I mean we can definitely go into it. But I want to know. We already talked about business, right? Gary V,
No.
100%. Who who influences you in your personal life?
In my personal life has to be my mother.
Yeah,
10
yeah,
million percent.
yeah,
She's just she makes shit happen out of thin air.
yeah.
She is a positive black hole, if like that is an analogy. Like she's
I
like
don't
there
know.
could be nothing and she just makes shit appear. She's like my mom.
Your mom, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, for me, my dad, uh, he's just insanely hardworking, and it's definitely motivating to see what he's been able to do. But mama, papa,
Mama. I feel that one, bro.
that's what I'm saying, dude. Um, talked about athlete already, Kobe Bryant. Uh, celebrity, celebrity influence, or even just favorite celebrity or celebrity crush, whatever you want to go. Hit
Leonardo
me,
DiCaprio. 100
Leo.
million percent. Oh yeah. That dude's top tier actor, man. I'll give you a couple movies right here, right now. Great
Hit me.
Gatsby 1,
Yeah,
Wolf of Wall Street 2,
yeah.
and then if you can handle all the like obviously like R-rated aspects of it, Monsieur Candide in
What is that,
Django.
bro?
If you've
Oh,
seen
okay, Django,
Django,
of course,
whew,
of
Monsieur
course.
Candide. bro, that his character, Leonardo DiCaprio's
I didn't know
character,
that's what
bro,
his name was, dude.
it's next level, bro. That stuff is next level. There's this little story just to kind of go on it real quick where there's this part where he kind of in the scene he all this blood starts happening on his hand because he like smashed the skull into the
I
table.
heard about
Came out.
this.
This happened in real life. He smashed his hand, gushes his hand wide open mid scene, and just keeps on. His hands just leaking everywhere. He goes and grabs Kerry Washington's face, rubs real blood all over her face, and it's just incredible. Who wants white cake? Like what? Bro? Like this guy's incredible. I see that movie way too much, bro. I was literally when that movie came out, bro. I was probably too young, and I watched it too much. Like that movie is incredible, bro. So yeah, Leo, 100%.
I
How
like
about
that.
you?
I don't know, man. In terms of celebrity, hmm. Oh boy. I mean, okay, my cop out answer is just gonna be Mark Hamill, Star Wars, Luke Skywalker.
Oh, I
Be-
respect. I
but
respect that.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, dude. I just growing up on Star Wars, like he maybe not influenced me, but just like seeing him so much in Star Wars and then getting to see him come back in the most recent like new trilogy, I guess, is just
Yeah,
something really special and like something special for me and my dad. Growing up, he's the one that got me into all that stuff, so it's like I don't know, it was really cool to kind of go through, and
I,
I really do like what he's done, uh, it as like the Joker, even like the Joker voice in the animated series for
yeah,
Batman Joker.
yep,
So
yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I respect that 100%, bro. That was kind of a that's not one that I would have guessed honestly. So I
Yeah,
respect that, man, for being,
yeah,
not what is it like?
and yeah.
You're not in the herd.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel that. No, and the other thing too is his Instagram and his Twitter are really funny. Like he's super into like interacting with fans. I don't know. It's really cool. He like retweets funny stuff and like he
I
replies a
actually think
lot
I
to his fans.
I actually think I seen a story about this, like him joking around with his fans on Instagram and stuff. So, I love that stuff. Keanu Reeves is just like another guy, man, who I think is incredible, man. Uh, that guy, one of the best actors in Hollywood, still rides the train, gives his seats
Yeah.
up for homeless dudes. Like, I
Yep.
think he drives a Kia, like 2006. Like, come on, man. Like, those are just guys that, you can always like, you always root for those kind of guys, even if they're in kind of poop movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah,
the guys that either just really stand up people or just the people that just interact a lot and just really show the appreciation for the fact that they realize that like without the fans their entire career or franchise or whatever would not have been what it is today. So
I
um
definitely, I like,
yeah,
yeah, I feel
yeah,
that, brother. Want to go to
yeah,
the next one?
yeah. So bringing it back a little bit to the video games and kind of going more into like our video game backstory, what is the earliest memory that you have of playing video games? Like either first game you can remember playing or the first game you were addicted to when you were a child. Like when you think of young Mike playing games, what do you think of?
Man, you know, the first one that I think I can remember, two quick memories is my first best friend, his name was Abraham.
Abraham.
And we literally used to eat ants in the corner. So that was how we met.
What?
And we
What?
ended up I'm not
Bro, what?
lying. Come on, bro. We gotta be, you know what I'm saying, man? Out- We out
Thank
here
you for
hungry,
being
bro.
honest, but Jesus
We out here
Christ, dude.
hungry, bro. But anyway, so uh, his mom was like, super strict Hmong culture. You know what I mean? I would have sleepovers at his house sometimes, and when we were like younger, and dudes would still sleep over at each other's houses. And we would sneak play Spider-Man on the Game Boy SP, wirelessly, like
Yeah,
play
yeah, yeah.
together. And it was the first game, honestly, that I'd ever played like online or like with anybody like that. Because growing up, I had a little bit of a different childhood, so I was actually introduced to games kind of a little bit late, like when I was like 11 or 12, so pretty
Oh
late.
wow.
The second memory is playing Madden on GameCube, my favorite thing for some reason, and it's kind of, whatever. It's kind of it's not cool to laugh at as an adult, but when I was a kid, it was the funniest shit for some reason. I would make all the linemen on the football team have 99 overall everything, and I would make them like substitute them into a running back position. And for some reason, it was the awesomest thing to see the linemen just bullying everybody. These big old dudes running the fastest on the field, fastest.
Fat man plays. Fat man plays.
Like they're diving in the end zone, bro. Like for some reason, dude, when I was young, man, like that was the funniest stuff, the funniest thing for me. So I used to like, I would like make all the linemen 99 speed and show my dad, and he would be like, "What you trying to say about me, boy? What you trying to say?" And I'm like, and so it was never
What?
funny because like I'll be like, "Oh shit, man!" And so it's like this kind of thing, or like, "Damn it, man." But yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's honestly that's the earliest too, man. I didn't start playing shooters honestly. The first shooter that I ever played was Modern Warfare 2 when Black Ops 2 was out. No
Oh
lie.
wow. So you were a little
I
late
was really
on the.
late and
Yeah.
really late, and
Yeah.
I actually had only been watching Call of Duty prior to that because I was like really just really into sports, honestly, and we were way too poor to afford like an medium outlet to play, So I think that that was probably why I was just like watching Nade Shot. But man, when I started playing, it was on like Donkey Kong. I went straight to 10, 11, 12 score streak, kill streak, and it was over. It was nonstop. And I like realized, yeah, man, it was just crazy. It was crazy, honestly.
That's
Realized early that you can like transfer that competitiveness into other facets of life. And I seen that really early on in just gaming. You know what I
yeah.
mean? That like, damn, I'm really competitive in my life. I can bring that into this controller and like that can give me an edge because like I was smashing my cousins like to the point where like their dad was not letting me sleep over. Like, he was because I was making them cry and shit. Like it was not cool. I would like they were three man at me, and I'm purposely like I'm dogging them like on rush, just dominating. So
I
yeah,
love
no,
that.
it's pretty awesome, man. Yeah,
No,
gaming's been incredible. How about
that
you, brother?
no, I mean, well, so that's crazy that you ended up going into all that because like okay, so well, quickly, the earliest thing that I can think of for me playing Nintendo 64, James Bond, GoldenEye with my dad and my dad's friends. And like
Respect.
so I mean that's I was into shooters from the get and I don't know. It was a lot of fun and they definitely let me win a lot, but and they gave me like the golden gun and stuff like that. So I was one shotting people from age 5 until now. So um
Your
no, but
family's so much nicer than mine. My family was smashing me, bro. Every chance they could, bro. My brothers and my dad were beating me down in every game. That's why, man, I went to like this. I was like, oh, I'm about to just dominate everybody. Came out a literal Lee Sin God fist, ready to dominate. Oh, go
Oh
ahead, bro.
no, what you were saying though about like Call of Duty and the competitive nature of COD, that definitely segues very well into like what I want to talk about next, which was like, you and I met on League, but then when we started getting to talk to each other more, we found out that we have a very, very common like background and like in an important part of our gaming, I guess you call it, careers. And um, at one point, we both played competitive Call of Duty, the game battles, the MLG ladders, all of that good stuff. Um, and I mean that to me, for me at least, was where I found my like true competitive gaming edge. I was always playing in those things and always trying to climb in the ladder and essentially for those that don't know, game battles and MLG was like a site that was basically, you could look at it the way that the league leaderboard and ranking system is, right? Like you grind, you win, you get to the top of challenger. For game battles and MLG is like you want to be rank 1. You just want to be rank 1 as high as you can get. Um and for me at the time, my friends and I from high school, is crazy because there were people that I knew in real life that were good as well. We were able to, climb our way
That's
up to
crazy.
top 50. Like most people found online friends through pubs and stuff like that. I actually had a group of people at my school and we would literally go to school, be in the same class or go to lunch and just like sit down with our notebooks, and I was drafting out already plays. I was like drawing the maps from memory and just drafting out, hit this nade spot. This is where we spawn S&D. This is where bomb is. If we run this play round 1, they're not going to expect it. We would go round 2, switch it up. Like I was doing that from like in high school and just failing classes. I didn't really care, dude. I honestly, that's where I knew that like I wanted to be a competitive player. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way, but it's all good. But, you and I have talked about this too in the past, like of how much it's affected our competitive drive in these games. And I just wanted to like either, hear from you some like highlights from the game battles days or things that you took away, like you learned and how it's
Man,
kind of affected your gaming career or even your personal life.
so after watching X Games and Ghost, I
Oh.
decided that I was overplaying eights because I had been playing eights for the entirety of Ghost, and I wouldn't say I was like first pick. If you don't know what eights are, it's basically like think of like pickup basketball, but in Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
8 people back then when the game was 4v4 would get into a lobby and there'd be two captains and you literally pick your team. And sometimes, every now and then, if you got into a really good eights lobby, we would put a little money up. Never too much though, like the pros were doing. Sometimes they'd be crazy with it. But man, and I was doing pretty well in eights, man, and in pubs, constantly was getting chems, and I was honestly really good, and so I was just kind of looking for a way to kind of satisfy that, like, I have this competitive like hole in me if I'm not doing something competitive. I'm not like exercising my competitive, I don't know, like
The competitive bone,
gene,
man. Yeah,
like the
there's something
bone or
in there.
something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
man.
I'll like get like I'm just not a good person, man. I get depressed and not motivated. And so anyways, I decide through eights that I was gonna kind of see if I could cherry pick a team together and like just throw together a team on we actually played on UMG, if you remember what
Okay.
UMG
Yeah, yeah,
gaming
yeah, yeah,
was.
yeah.
Um and man, it was a struggle at first, honestly. I bounced around a bunch of different teams. I got into playoffs one season on UMG and I believe on MLG too. So how the only big difference between the league ladder and like these two ladders is that at the end of the season, the top 8 teams would play in playoffs. And then, it would kind of be a bracket play to the finals where there'd be a money prize. And that was kind of the whole point to play on MLG and UMG was the fact that if we placed in the top 8 teams, we could get into playoffs and possibly win a, a gold trophy and $1,500. And the whole point back then to become a pro COD player was you got to rack up gold trophies and rack up prize pool money so that you can basically
Boost
just
the
have proof
resume.
points. Yep, boost the
Yeah.
resume,
Yep.
and that's how people started popping up, man. Literally, there's this team, man, that we kept running into, man. They're called Avalanche White. They were monsters, and I had a little bit of a bone to pick with them because they took my player that I found, and he was dominant, dominant.
Oh
Like I
no,
mean, he was
dude.
really good, and when he went on their team, they fit like a fucking puzzle and they won 3 playoffs back to back to back and that made me so salty during that time. But so actually I didn't end up like making a good push towards playoffs until Advanced Warfare, the second season in Advanced Warfare, and it actually wasn't even in the sadly it wasn't even in the duo ladder, just duo S&D, man. My duo partner, his name was Wicked Shock. I still play with him every now and then. Super cool dude. Really cool dude, honestly. It's a search and destroy. I'll be honest with you, like amateur kind of mastermind. If that's like a kind of contradictory statement, but like that dude knows search somehow, man. He's got a sense for it, and
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
some reason though, through the entire playoffs season, we literally would constantly put each other in 1v2 scenarios, and literally every time we would clutch. Every time. And we were just like, that was our problem is that we couldn't, for some reason, we could never make it like a positive, like a 2v2, or 2v1 for us. We always got first blooded. And I'll be honest with you, uh, my competitive Call of Duty career ended that same season, the season that I made a push in duos playoffs. We played against it was I think semis. We played against this guy. He had 115 viewers in his stream,
Oh.
and he world starred me. I'm gonna be honest. I honestly, I'm gonna like spend the next couple of days looking for the clip, and I'll like throw it around in the chat every now and then. Just to show you guys, it was horrible, man. He went to put bomb down. I lit him up, and I don't know if you remember with AW, there's like this shimmy movement after you would plant the bomb, and so it's kind of hard to hit bullets. And I missed every bullet. He dropped the bomb and World Star me for the win, and they had come back off of a like 0-5 comeback,
Oh,
and
dang.
it was in front of 105 people. I was streaming as well. Literally for the next month, I'm not lying. The next entire month, every morning I wake up on Twitter with the worst stuff in my mentions, like you would never even believe.
Dang.
Like kill yourself, your work, like
Whoa.
absolute
Dang.
worst stuff. Like every day for like this next month, every time I would stream, my chat would be full with you shitter, you this, you
Yeah.
and then it like after a while it started becoming really personal. Then they like started attacking who I was as like a person and like how I like looked, and it became really horrible, and it 100% pushed me away from like wanting to play competitively. And so after that, man, I dabbled a little bit, and the next coming games, like
Right.
played a little bit in Black Ops 3, but I'll be honest, it really ended for me in AW because of that, man. And that
Wow.
guy, dude, honestly, he ended up going lose the next round, and that guy's a real asshole because I had a bone to pick with him even later because you know there's just people in the community, man, who thrive off their positive, like they'll take their positive, man, and they'll shove you to the dirt, like into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ground
Just
to
straight up
like
ego
milk it.
checking. Yeah.
Ego out of this world, man, and I'm just not about that stuff, man, because and where I come from in real life, if you're gonna try to ego check me, we can just talk about it like grown men. And like that's just not how people like to handle things in this world, man. What I mean? Like that was my first, honest to God, that was my first like kind of confrontation on the internet. My first
I
like
see.
keyboard warrior confrontation,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it completely turned me away from it, honestly. But I love what it honestly, it showed me that I can like take my competitiveness in this outside environment, because I was just such an aggressive football player, way too aggressive, gave myself multiple concussions just off of the aggression. And my biggest concern was that I wasn't going to be able to apply that anywhere. And, honestly, playing those like UMG matches showed me that I can really take that competitive energy and apply it elsewhere, and I can get almost the relatively same results if I just keep with it. You know what I mean? And that really showed me even later in life when, in these last 3 years when I've been doing like trying to figure out what I want to do, that same theme has kind of popped up, that like I can take this competitive nature and just use it positively. And
Yeah.
that's a blessing, man. I think that that's a blessing because competitiveness is a blessing, but it can also be an extreme curse. Because
Yeah.
I've seen people who are, man, they're the most competitive people in the world, man, but they just, perfect example. No reason, no mean to throw this person on their bus, but Dardoch. That guy, I look up to that guy as a jungler. Don't mean to switch it,
Yeah,
games
yeah,
here,
yeah.
League of
Uh-huh.
Legends jungler.
Yeah.
When I first started learning jungle, that guy is a monster mechanically. But there's something about male egos, man, that if you it stems from his pure like just pure competitiveness, this just overwhelming want to win that he can't even handle. Like when he has a teammate that's not like, at the Team Liquid, big, documentary, he couldn't even
Right.
handle when his teammates weren't even as good as him. It's like malfunctioning. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
God, what is
Yeah.
happening?
I
Like
saw
he can't.
that.
And it's the same kind of thing, and that's just an example of like, it's just I feel very blessed that I've been able to apply my competitiveness in a positive manner, man. Really, seriously.
Yeah.
And
No,
yeah,
it's really really hard at times, and I was younger the same way, like, if we took a loss that we shouldn't have. I mean, I already said it kind of earlier, but like, I'm still working on it, but it really is tough, especially when you get in those, and to some people it doesn't mean anything. It's just a game, blah 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 blah. But there's just something like really, I don't know, like primal about playing in these competitive matches that, like, you lose, somebody talks trash, and you just feel personally attacked. And I mean, that was just the nature of Call of Duty back then for sure. Like
hundred percent.
everybody was trash talking everybody. Like you make one good play and you want to, it was true mental warfare back then to just slam someone to the point that they didn't want to play anymore. And I mean that's kind
Literally.
of how you felt, it seems like you just didn't want to play in a competitive setting anymore. And I mean, it was brutal back then for sure. Some of the stuff that was said, some of the things that I've said,
People would be blown up on Twitter.
yeah,
People's
you
with how there's
you
no
yeah.
redemption, with how people can just like pull stuff from your background and it ruins your like because right now there's no like road to redemption for people. If you mess up once on social media, you're kind of done right now.
Yeah.
And oh my God, if that was the case, when I was in oh man, dude, I'm telling you
Yeah.
right now, there would be a lot less people my age in the working world.
Yep.
There would be a lot of people banned from Twitter, banned from everything, banned from Starbucks. It would have been over. It would have been so over, man. Man, you know how many like altercations I seen at GameStop tournaments? Man,
Dude,
dude, if
I
that stuff
yes.
happened
I
now,
yo,
dude,
I played in
these
one of
are
those. Yeah.
it's no joke out here for these people, man. We spend all day out here. So it's primal. Primal is a great term, and I love that term. It is primal, man. Winning and losing is a very primal sensation with anything
Yeah.
in life. I feel
Uh-huh.
it's very
Yeah.
it's a different chemical in your brain, man, and that's why I just keep like reiterating like if you can use that positively, man, you can get a lot of great things out of life, man. Seriously, it's amazing.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Um, but so we talked about playing in a competitive setting, kind of both of us kind of step back from that for one reason or another. And now, you know, for me at least, I work, I hang out with my family, my loved ones, whatever, and then I start gaming. So, what I want to know now is now that you're out of the competitive, you have that competitive edge, but you're not playing in a competitive setting, looking to go pro, whatever, all that. Do you really find gaming as a hobby at this point? And some other follow up questions to that I kind of jotted down were just like, you know, is gaming for you like an outlet from the real world? Do you find it more to be a social thing? Obviously, we have our competitive natures. What about playing video games like brings you back day in and day out?
Yeah, so honestly, that is a great question because I've been trying to think about this a lot, and I think every guy that plays video games when they get in a relationship has to ask themselves this question of how much do I like to play video games and how much do I like general happiness? This is a true question with life, and I think that it's kind of a funny way to talk about the question, but honestly, to be serious, man, I think gaming is an escape, man.
Yeah,
My life is crazy.
yeah,
And I think everybody, has their own things. But my world moves at a million miles an hour, and the stuff moving in my head moves even faster. And I'm not saying that because I don't want nobody saying, "Oh, you need help or this or that." That's just what my world is. And when I'm like, when I come here to this area, man, and I sit down and league may start up or, whatever it may be, honestly, like it's like, you know what it is? It's a body of water. So for me in my personal life, lakes, they really calm me down. They, for some reason, when I'm in front of a lake, my thoughts slow down. I'm able to think clearly. I'm able to breathe and just like actually exhale. Like I don't know, man, it's different. And that's kind of what like gaming is for me. When I sit down in front of my setup that I've worked so hard to build, uh, like every piece of it from my, keyboard. I used to look at this Black Widow Chroma and like on the internet and just think, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. Like I like,
yeah,
and it's just an escape, man, is really what it is. And gaming is a blessing, man. And you know, where like when you're playing League of Legends every day and you can really think that the community is just super toxic, man. You really can, because and honestly, it can really seem that way. But if you just like step back, even in those moments when you feel like your team's just running it down mid, or they're you don't have teammates who are working with you well, like it honestly it helps me to like literally remember what am I even sitting in front of this thing for to begin with.
yeah.
And
Wow.
it sounds like corny. I
No, but
understand
it's like a
like how
really good
corny it
mindset
sounds,
that you have.
but it literally it like reprograms me every time. I'm so serious. Like it like reminds myself like this is dead serious. Is when I'm in a really bad mood, maybe lost a couple games, I'll tell myself like, what do I want to do? Do I want to turn this off and then stress about what's going on out here? Is that what I want to do? And if that is not what I want to do, change it. Change your mood. What do you like this for? This is your
Dang.
escape. Because
Wow.
my world out here is a million miles, man. It is, man. And every day, honestly, something it's like every day something crazier can happen. And so just with like that little change of mindset, I feel like it's really helped me a lot to be able to just tackle the like negative side of gaming, man, to where now I can really appreciate the fact that I'm just here like to win, but to also have fun. And sometimes, your competitiveness gets in the way, and you might not like always act on that value. Sometimes you might be like, when we just had that full five stack team and we lost that game, and me and you both kind of got like, damn, we should have been here, here, and there. That's not in anger or in like
Yeah.
spite of what happened. I'm not mad at one trick. I'm more of like, damn, we could have did it. This is what we should do next time. Even though I shouldn't be even this animated, you know what I mean? That's even something that I've been trying to work on in my personal life. Is like, damn, you know, we. I understand why you guys went this way, but I really feel like if we went into this way, we're gonna win. And I really feel that way. And then you show them, why if they care enough, kind of like how we did, on your stream, we kind of showed them what we seen, and they were like, oh yeah, 100%, my bad, man. It goes great. But now, if you take that the negative aspect, and we're like, fuck man, we could have did this and that. Oh, no, no. And then next if one trick's in a bad mood, one trick's like, nah, Mike, you could have went did this way and that way. And GT's flaming already. GT wakes up David
Yo.
Crockett grill on 450. He's literally frying everybody. Like, so don't get that man started on a joke, because he's already revolvers loaded. So like we just gotta you feel what I'm saying though? It's great, man. It's incredible. So you just gotta have to like you gotta I don't know, man. Gaming's incredible, man. It's a blessing. And it's a social gathering as much as it is a competitive outlet, as much as it is an outlet from the real world, and as much as it is an addictive ass hobby. You know what I mean? It's all of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I think, to kind of answer your question of what really draws me back in, is just the ability to escape is
Yeah.
really what draws me back in.
Dude,
And I
on
would
it,
like to hear
yeah.
from your perspective as well, if
Well,
after your thoughts on like what I just said.
dude, well, what you said about just the way that that mindset that you have is such a. I have never thought of it that way. I mean, like, obviously, I have my moments of like, dude, you need to chill out. Like, it's just, you're just here to have fun. And you're just here, you can't be like this, blah, 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 blah. Whenever I get real pissed off and like, and real worked up over games. And it's like, but the way you said it, it's like, do you want to get off and be pissed and like try to figure out your life outside of all of this? And it's like it that really hit me, because there have been several times where I go on a mad losing streak, or I'm getting tilted off of whatever, and I get out of the stream and I go to the real world, and my attitude affects everybody else in the real world that I care about. And I'm just like, why, dude? Why would you even consider getting off of the game to go and then just start trash, like, I don't know, like, just,
Trashing your
yeah. And
relationships.
I'm
I
like,
feel you.
that's the stupidest thing I've ever done. Like,
Yeah, because
don't
yeah,
do
dude,
that, people.
it's horrible,
Seriously.
man.
Like, God. So I mean, that's a really, really, but just to kind of go back to the question at hand, I mean, like, for me personally, at the end of the day, whenever I look at playing games, it boils down to being a social gathering for me. Like, I had a conversation with one of my high school friends today, actually, at lunch, and my sister was having lunch with us too. She said after we all left and we were in the car driving home, she goes, it's so weird that you're still friends with with that guy. And I'm like, why? She's like, it just feels like nothing's changed with you guys. I'm like, because we get online, we talk in a video game, and it's our way to just catch up, connect, and still be in each other's lives. Like, nothing has changed. I haven't seen that guy in, I think, like 5 months or something like that. And then before that, it was like over a year since I'd seen him. But because we're always talking to each other when we're online, it's like you can keep up to date with each other's lives, and like it just, the people, I don't know, it keeps that friendship strong. So for me, it's a social thing. um I still have my competitive drive, but obviously, like I said, it's not as prominent in terms of like wanting to compete at a high level anymore. I want to win, Obviously, I want to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, for
Cause
me, it's really just a social thing.
I want to add one more thing too on this
Yeah,
part before we move on too. Because I kind of just thought about it. You're right more so about the social gathering thing, and here's one way I can connect with that is growing up a really big person that I kind of went to in my life when you know what was going on in my in my household was crazy was my older brother Chris, man. And uh that dude had a horribly unfortunate just upbringing, man. My dad put him out at you know young, and he got into the gangs and just kind of went down that wrong side of things. But I had always looked up to him, and it there came this point where he kind of stopped coming around, and I would just see him like once or twice every couple of years. And even though as I'm growing up in this household where emotions are not really, we don't really do those, so it's not on the surface doing much, but inside I'm like, damn, man. And my brother actually got a PlayStation 4, and his big game was Fortnite. And because of Fortnite, dead serious, man, I was able to have this reconnection with my brother,
yeah,
somebody who I really care about. And it's super unfortunate circumstances because he's currently locked up. And but without connecting with him via gaming, I wouldn't be able to know what's going on with him and understand his situation. He's been in a pretty unfortunate circumstance, and I've been in a position to help him. And
yeah,
so gaming without just playing Fortnite with him, that won't be possible. And so 110%, man. And I had just thought about that, and that's a very powerful thing, man. Because my older brother, we've been through the trenches, the fire, man, World War II trenches, people running at you with bayonets, and I'm talking fire bombs, and all is crazy, man. So that guy is, it was just honestly. And I don't really like Fortnite anymore, man. I got to be honest. Because a lot of people joke about Fortnite and the community about it, but I'll always appreciate what Fortnite was able to do for me
yeah,
in just that aspect, man. Because without Fortnite, maybe he doesn't get a PlayStation 4 and play games, and then I'm not able to really talk with my brother. So
right,
I feel that 100%.
yeah. No, I mean that's what it's all about for me, is just really being able to get online and connect with friends from past, and then new friends like you guys, all of you guys. So what I want to do real quick, this is kind of our midpoint in our questions, so I just wanted to let you guys have an opportunity, like I said in the early parts of the stream, comment in the chat if you have questions for myself or Mike, or like I said, check us out in Discord. Be sure to use that conversation topics section. So we'll give a few minutes for people to kind of give some questions, do a little intermission. I also want to just read off some of the notifications. So real quick, let me pull those up. Gogeta with the 2 months. Thank you so much for the prime. I appreciate that. NTG Monkey with the 200 bits. Thank you so much. And yo, what's going on, guys? Frosty, GT, Sizzle, Mikey. Guys, like I said, yo, Showtime showed up as well from Vicious. Thank you so much. Kyla, how you doing? Like I said, guys, when we're having our conversations, I'm not trying to ignore you. I am reading the chat as we're going, but sometimes it is hard to acknowledge mid conversation. So I want to take some time here to say what's up to you guys. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And thanks for joining us. Hope you're excited about Shining Light episode 1 featuring BGMichael. But yeah, guys, it's been a good one so far. Hopefully you're enjoying it. We got a ton more questions, a lot more to talk about. And like I said, after all of this, we'll be playing some games afterwards. And maybe we'll hit up some league. Maybe we can get some norms games in. You guys can jump in with me and Mike, and we can just have a good session. But
How you
yeah,
doing, bro? You liking it? You enjoying it? It's a fun time. I'm having
I
fun, bro.
dude, I really
Not as
like
bad.
this. I'm having a good time. I'm really pumped. Obviously, just being able to talk with you is always a good time. And then I'm just looking forward to the future, dude. What's up,
Yeah, I
Wintry?
think it's awesome. Definitely feels. I definitely don't feel as nervous as I thought it would be during the show. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Pretty awesome.
yeah,
I like it.
like you said, it's like once we get flowing, it's no big deal. What's up, Killjoy? Kiss Kappa Pride, dude. Mwah. Got you, brother. I got you. Okay, boys. Cool. Like I said, feel free to drop us some questions. If you do have any questions at any point, drop them in Discord or in chat. We'll be answering more questions at the end. just wanted to give you guys a quick minute, quick intermission, and also, give you guys some acknowledgement. Kiss each other and look at each other. So I gotta look this way. What do you mean, bro?
I don't know about this, bro. I don't partake in these activities. These are those Kappa Pride activities, brother.
Hold
This is
up. Somebody said something in the Discord. What do you say? Torchy look left, Mike look right, and give each other a kiss. I don't know. Oh hell no. Okay,
which way
boy.
would it? I'm not
Hey,
even
no,
doing it.
no, no,
Oh,
no, bro, no, bro, no,
oh,
bro,
oh,
no,
oh. Okay,
bro.
I'm
Okay,
over it. I'm over it.
okay.
Life's good all the time. Let's go.
All right. Well, like I said, guys, if you do have questions, don't you know, don't hesitate to ask, and we'll get to them at the end for sure. But moving on again with the conversation. So, um, yeah, I want to switch it up and kind of talk about Twitch itself. Like, uh, Twitch as a platform, as a whole, is definitely very saturated, and I think we can all agree on that. But what do you think about like Twitch, the culture surrounding it, and like what it's done for people, what it's done for you, and in terms of actually growing on Twitch since it's so saturated? I mean, do you believe that like hard work can actually pay off, or do you think it's more of a luck chance thing to get discovered like through a host or a raid or whatever have you? I mean, what are your thoughts on the Twitch platform?
Yeah, honestly, I think that there is a at the start, there are certain things you can do to give yourself an advantage, and I think that these are like if I'm like breaking this kind of stuff to people, then like this is information that I feel is just like kind of known, you know. Uh, at the lower viewership ladder or at the lower viewership level
Yeah.
of like the ladder in terms of like, you know, if you're looking at all the channels,
Yeah.
just adding one viewer puts you above in some games 20, 30 people.
True.
Like literally. Like just going from 0 to 4 viewers puts you ahead of, I mean, scrolling for 30, 45 seconds of
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
however many people that is, you know what I mean? And so from like the rip when you're streaming, you know, being the only person in your stream, having maybe a friend who's in your stream with you just to put you above right at the beginning, I think is like a really good idea. But once you get past that point, you know what I mean? Like where you're like working like, oh, let me add a viewer in to get up one more. Like past that like 10, 11, 12 average viewers, I feel like that doesn't really matter cuz I think in that mix are a lot of journeyman streamers, people who literally like they've decided I'm doing this and this is fucking it for right now, and they're streaming 8 hours a day all day, have the same consistent like, you know, maybe like 7 to 11, 12 viewers, and like that's their stream, and it may grow, it may never not. uh and I think that in that in between there's just so many people, man, that I definitely think that there's some luck, a
Yeah.
lot of luck involved.
Yeah.
Because like you can stream 8 hours a day 7 days a week, 24 hours streams, I mean 48 hours, however many hours. But at the end of the day, man, if you're not bringing something to the table, like
Yeah.
serious, and sometimes people don't like to hear this kind of stuff. If you're not bringing something real to the table, Shroud type aim, like DrDisrespect type character, you know, maybe like Courage or Nick Merck's kind of funny, you know how they have that weird kind of crude humor. Like if you're
Yeah.
not bringing ninja type Fortnite gameplay, like you gotta like you gotta find your wiggle room, man. And that's why I feel like when I was talking with you, like seriously, when I was saying like you're one good idea away from it, because I think it's a great like I'm not saying that you needed to do, you know, have this self-realization, but I think it's shows your level of maturity and your level of understanding of just like what's really going on. Uh, that you want to spark new ideas like this, you know, just to try your hand at it,
Yeah.
because you're kind of done like relying on this one outlet, you know what I mean? And I think that that's a great mindset, man. Like the more ideas, the merrier, and I think that that's what really sets people apart in the Twitch like scheme of things is like not just what they're doing like in terms of gameplay, but like if you like run your channel like a program, like like you get what I mean? Like we're having a podcast here, we're having
Yeah.
this like it. I think that that seems in my head that seems to be like the way to do it nowadays. Because I
Yeah.
definitely don't think just hard work is the way to go. It sucks, man.
I
Because
yeah, I
people
agree.
dedicate, their whole time to it. But I definitely also think there's something to like missing your moment. If you like take too long of a break, like right when you're kind of popping, or you know what I mean, you'll that train will pass you and quick.
Yep.
And it sucks, man. It's so depressing because I've kind of felt that a little bit when I was streaming Call of Duty at first. I was holding like 9 to 11 viewers sometimes, and I stopped for a good period when I got into college because I got like really extremely depressed. And when I started back up, it was dead, and it's dead, dead, and like that train's gone. Sure, maybe like that's a bad perspective outlook, but that's just being honest. Like I had that momentum and that momentum is derailed, and I can work to get that back, but you might not get that back. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's why I definitely think. But one thing I do want to touch on kind of small is the negativity that Twitch chat does have, because that is real, and that I think that Twitch chat negativity spews into Twitter and Instagram negativity. Not so much Facebook, because Facebook I can click into your whole personal life,
Yeah.
but definitely on Twitter, 1,000,000%. Like them, and I think that they definitely have to figure out ways to work around that. Because not in your environment, I think you do an incredible job of like hosing down the negativity, honestly. And but you know, if you're watching Bob Ross, man, sometimes Bob Ross's stream, there's no Bob Ross moderators, bruh. like, like nobody's out here clearing the Bob Ross channel. So, like, you can go ham on people with your little happy little mistakes, and you can, like, dude, it's crazy, man. And you know, people are getting real smart with their banter these days too, so I can understand why it's getting hard for companies to stop stuff like this, but still, man, I think there's something to be said about the amount of negativity on the platform, and that's true with all platforms though.
Yeah, I think in terms of the negative stuff that you can see on Twitch, that's like one of the big things that scares me sometimes is like I don't want to look so far ahead, but like let's just say I did have an opportunity where it was either through host or whatever, or just somehow I was able to continue to grind to a point where I have more people coming through, and then it gets to that point where you're at that part of the Twitch page where people don't have to scroll too far. They click, they come through for a second, drop a negative comment or something, and like I'm just trying to think to myself like, can I handle it, And like
I feel that.
it is kind of scary. Like some of the stuff people say. There was one incident actually a while back where Frosty, I know you were there for sure, but because you were dropping the band hammer left and right, but like, man, dude, I was playing Fortnite. I don't think I had a ton of viewers, but somebody was super like just they deep dive my Instagram, got the name of my sister, got the name of my grandparents, and they were making Twitch names that were just like so and
I
so's
remember this.
dead, blah blah blah, dead, blah blah blah, doing this to your I'm like, dude, like those are some just truly horrible, malicious people that like, and I was just like, dang, man, like that night for me was like super weird, super hard, and I'm really thankful for the mods that come through and make sure that, people like that or people that come through after games and they're super salty, they get the ban hammer. But it's like, man, imagine having that on the daily or like whatever. Every time you boot up your stream, it's like weird and it kind of is freaky and stuff like that. So that's like one of my big worries about getting to that stage. But I mean, obviously, it's going to happen when you get to that point.
Yes.
But
I'll
all yeah.
be honest. Man, maybe even when I'm saying this, I'm kind of hesitant because when people say like, "Oh, I hope this makes you feel better," and then they tell you something bad, you're just like, "How's that supposed to make
Yeah.
like what?"
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, man. I hope I can handle it. I don't know, honestly. because, and honestly, this is, I was talking to you a little bit about this before, but like, I don't post anything on my Facebook because, like, anything, because for some reason my Facebook is like a place where, people want to like share their views
Yeah.
strongly.
Yeah.
And if, even though my father's African American, like, everybody only sees the fact that I'm like white with blonde hair, you know what I mean? And so, like, if I like say one thing even relatively wrong or relatively this way, I don't want to get painted as white privilege or anything even remotely that, when, like, especially in today's world where, like, it's so easy to be painted as something and as one of these things and then just be tossed aside, especially, and not trying to say boohoo white people, but especially for a blonde hair white dude. Like, if I say one wrong thing on my Facebook, I'm that white guy that is like, now everyone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of sucks. And so, like, I was just kind of saying that because I think that touches on how, like, my ability to, like, maybe not handle it, because I legitimately, I'm hyper neutral. And because am kind of in this boat where, like, I don't really want to over support things that I love. Like, I love hip hop dearly.
Mhm.
Like, dearly, was raised on it, know nothing but it. But, like, you don't want to come off as a vulture. You don't want to look like you're claiming this space. You want to acknowledge that I'm a visitor in this space, and I just love culture of this space, and it's all I know as well.
Yeah.
And people, for some reason, in today's world, want you to stand up and say, "I'm not trying." I don't understand that. Because if you don't say that, people will just assume, like, because I like hip hop, oh, I'm like a white dude trying to, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I can show many in my Facebook where I've just posted how I like a certain song, like a rap song, like, or I'll post
Yeah.
like recently about Nipsey Hussle's death, and, like, because I'm like white, I guess I don't have the privilege to talk about that.
Wow. It's
So, if, I don't know, the world's a
yeah.
weird place, man. The world is a real weird place right now, and so because of that, you know, I'm cool with what I am. I love who I am.
Yeah. That's good.
Who I am, and I just want, here's what I live on. If you're not affecting my ability to help my family, then I love it. You know what I mean? Like, real stuff. As long as you're not like out here doing crazy shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Blatantly wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. People have, there's just so much negative energy, man. And
Yeah.
Twitch chat. This just keeps tying back into Twitch chat because, I think you can get into these you can get into these channels, man, where you're like, damn, dude, this
Yeah.
just so many. This just going. You're like,
It's yeah.
wow, man. Like, imagine typing those things.
That's what I'm saying. I can't imagine the people that are behind it and typing it. Like whether or not they truly mean it or not, it's like I can't even come up with that stuff myself, you know?
I was
Some
driving
of the
Lyft
stuff.
yesterday.
Yeah.
I was driving Lyft yesterday, and the person in the car was. There's so many of these people, right? They're all over Twitter. They're all over, like, Twitch. They're all over, right? It's almost like hate is an infestation, almost literally. They have to be in our daily life. I drive Lyft quite a lot. I have to run into some of those dudes.
Yeah.
Like, that has to be like, there's so many of them. They're everywhere, everywhere. Like, you go on some Twitter feeds and you go on some Facebook feeds, and you're like, you can't even go. Don't go on Facebook comment feeds. You know what I mean? Like, oh my goodness, and those people have to be in your daily life. And I've just been thinking about that lately. Like,
Like
as
who
I've
do
been
you
driving Lyft,
cross?
is like,
Yeah, who do you come
like,
across that might be that person and like
yeah,
like you go to the
seriously,
grocery store, you look around, it's like how many of you would say something like I don't know.
horrible about me.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I feel would, but, that's just the thing, and that's where I keep going back with Twitch as that, it's, I understand where as a company it's hard to monetize free speech. Or not monetize, sorry, it's hard to put, like, legalities in terms of, like, terms of service, like, oh, you can't do this or you can't say this, because freedom of speech is such a touchy thing in the US. So I understand why there's not, like, more measures with these
Mhm.
companies to stop. like hate stuff, but it's just a touchy subject, man. I just wouldn't want to be these companies, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah.
I would not want to be Twitter. I would not want to be Instagram. Like these people, oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Oh man, it's crazy to think about all that stuff, and like that's a good point. Like I know it yeah, it's weird. It's really weird that you could walk around and maybe run into somebody that is the internet troll, but like
and
on the surface they look nothing like I don't know. It's weird. That's a weird
and man, if you
concept.
live in like places like the Bay Area, Los Angeles, New York City, Miami, I would imagine it's an infestation. I would imagine it's like fucking cockroaches over a hot garbage can. Like there's 30 million people in Los Angeles. Torchy. 30 mil, bro. Some of those
Um
motherfuckers are
the
on the internet
yeah,
talking shit.
yeah.
You can't tell me, bro. Like, like there's so many people. Like it's almost like the numbers have to add up at some point. I don't know, man. I feel
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm I'm gonna kind of do the honors and swap in the topic a little bit if I
Yeah, go
can,
ahead.
okay,
Go
bro?
ahead. Go ahead.
Because it's real easy to like get wound up in like talking about how like negative these mediums can be, and I feel like we could go on and on about the negativity with the stuff. So, um, what I kind of want to drift the topic about is actually my younger brother. Kind of switch it to a more personal topic.
Yeah.
If you kind of want to like phrase the intro of
Sure.
the topic.
Yeah, yeah. So, no, you're right. We definitely can, and we should move on. It's an endless topic. No, but I wanted to bring it back a little bit. Like you said, I want to go and talk about your younger brother, and we've played Fortnite with him in the past, and I just wanted to know, like, do you feel that, and you already talked about this a little bit with the older one, but with the younger one, like, do you feel that you have been able to connect and bond with him through the video games? And one thing that's really interesting to me that I never think about like consciously until like it hits me is like there's a definite like noticeable age gap within our community, like the viewers, myself, even like between me and you. Sometimes I think of us as the same age, but I always forget that you're younger than me for some odd reason. I don't know, it
Yeah,
never
I'm 21.
clicks.
How old are you?
I'm 24 and it never
Oh,
clicks
you
in
almost
my
30.
head sometimes. we all we're always talking, you and me, or like whenever we're talking with one trick, we're like, dude, I forget that he is
Yeah, dude, he's
technically
young.
underage.
Holy
Sizzle
shit, just stood by
underage,
saying to
Tim
that guy.
underage, and we're all just hanging out still. But
That's
that
so
that's
funny.
that idea, that concept is like really interesting to me. And the question that I really have, kind of surrounding like you, your younger brother connecting, is like, do you think that gaming transcends age, like to an extent? Like it doesn't matter what age you are. Obviously there's certain things that some kids can or can't play, or some things that we can and can't say around the younger folks, but like in general, like this idea that gaming is so unifying and it doesn't, like, age doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Obviously there's that. Okay, I don't want to go in the other thing, but let's just talk about the age. Let's just talk about the age, and kind of your thoughts on yeah, like
So,
what gaming can do.
when I was growing up, we didn't play with squeakers. And I know you know this. So, times have changed.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be blunt about that shit. If you were a little kid, I was this at one point, man, because in my first PlayStation clan, on one of them games, I forget which one. Man, they used to call me Squeaker all the time, man. I used to want to play with them as much as I could. They did not want to play with me because of how young I was. But nowadays, man, it's like it's promoted. You see people like Courage who like, what's that kid's name that he
Connor.
literally? Yeah, man, it's great. But
Connor.
it's stuff like that like changes the environment, changes the world. And dude, man, my little brother Braylon, that dude is a fucking animal. Silverback gorilla savage fucking. I'm trying to think of just like a fucking yeti. Think of just like an 8 foot just yeti, dude. Like that kid, man, is a beast already, man. If I had that kid's competitiveness and just that kid's just like I'm gonna give just a perfect example, okay?
Yeah.
And this a little bit nasty, okay?
Well,
So
okay, go ahead. Just go for it. Go for it.
it has to do with throwing up, okay? So
Oh,
I
that's
hate
fine.
that stuff,
Oh,
okay?
okay, that's
It
fine though.
makes
I
me
don't.
cry. It turns me into a straight like, Mom, I hate this. My little brother, bro, at this dude must have been 8 years old. He's literally sick with the flu, like 104 fever, like dying, man. I get up to go get a snack because I'm like gaming 3 a.m. This dude, like a grown ass man by himself, is just at the toilet, standing up, handling his business, not crying, no tears, people cool, he's fine, you know what I mean? And I look in, I'm like, dude, you're not crying or sad or you're just cool. He's just, bruh, I'm cool, man. Don't worry about me. And in that moment, this right here showed me that that dude is a different breed because I am a 21-year-old man. I will hold that shit down until the next millennial. I hate it till the end of the world, bro. Like but that dude, he's a beast. He's a fucking animal. He handles it like a silverback gorilla. Literally, that's why I compare him to it. And it's the same way with everything he does, man. Fortnite,
Yeah.
he wasn't always like the best shooter, honestly. His first shooters were like Call of Duty, and he wasn't that good at it, and it pissed him off, dude, because he would look at me, and back then, man, I'm good, and I'm letting you know it. I'm finessing, I'm screaming in the room, Mom, 20 Moabs today, Mom. I'm everywhere, bro. And he's just playing bad, and he's mad, dude. He's big salty, and that's at a young age. I'm talking 5, 6, and now that dude trashes me on Fortnite, and I'll be honest, I get a little bit pissed off because he's a beast, man, and I just think like the silverback gorilla thing, how them things are just like fucking powerful. They ram through shit. They're just oh, you know what I mean? That's that kid, man. That's that dude's spiritual animal. That guy's a beast, man. And to kind of take it back a little bit personal, it like I helped raise that guy, man. So it's a little bit different of a bond, like from an early age on.
Yeah.
Uh, Pops, if you're watching this, it's not putting you under the bus, none. You know I love you, but my little brother and like my dad early on, like it was just like in and out. And I just want to be really respectful to my pops if he's watching. Um, so because of that, I just filled in where I could. And some people might see that because me and my brother are 8 years apart. I'm an 8-year-old changing diapers, formula. I'm helping my mom in the hospital. I'm I'm doing everything. So it's more of like it's weird because like it's my mom and her son, but like that guy, I like would take a bullet for that guy before anybody. If I and I take a nuke in my chest for that guy. Like literally, it's so much deeper than brother,
Wow.
and it's like it's kind of hard to honestly understand because you know my childhood was wild, man, and I've just tried real hard to make sure that that guy has just had a way better childhood, and with that, comes like, kids being a little bit, like privilege, you know what I mean, and like
Sure.
sheltered and soft, you
Sure.
know what I mean. But I would much rather every day of the week him be that than him have some of the demons that I have. Honestly, is it's not worth it, man. And that guy, that's why, like, he's homeschooled. He dealt with bullying really early on because of his weight, and so my mom pulled him in homeschool. And that guy is a genius, and not because he's homeschooled. I know how people kind of like to rag on homeschool a little bit, but that dude is like I lacked in school. My way through school was sports. That guy's way through school is his brain, and that guy's way through life is his brain. I mean, whatever he does, and that is just amazing to watch, man. And I just think it's been a blessing, and it's matured me so much faster than most people, and that's why I feel like just so blessed to have the experiences that I have. Like even with Braylon, is because like video games, me and him don't live together anymore, and haven't for about a year and a half now. But at any moment, he'll just message me on Discord like he did at the start of the stream and just be like, "What's up, bro? Love you. Hope everything's good." And some things are going on with my dad right now, and like, um, not to get like too emotional, but my dad's having really struggles breathing, and so like watching my dad, like, his chest is compressing like horribly. He's attached to all these machines, and I'm like looking at my brother, and the machine's beeping in every direction, and he's just like panicking because this is like his first like oh fuck moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like my first oh fuck moment was like 3 or 4. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I was just so used to, by the time I was 14, that it was just like another thing, you know what I mean? And I was just looking at that, and this just happened 2 days ago, and I like pulled him out of the room and had a little talk with him, and like it just kind of showed me like what, you know, like being like maybe a little, I don't want to say like overly like with love and emotion can do, you know what I mean? Cuz maybe it's a bad thing that, he's, and I don't want to say it's a bad thing that he's like scared because our dad's like in a bad moment, but I don't know. It stems from like difference of being raised, because I was raised
Yeah.
in a place where like there wasn't any emotion, and so like he is a child like of emotion and words, and so sometimes we'll butt head because he's a little bit more emotional than sometimes I would like him to be, and so like in that moment I did kind of feel bad because I pulled him aside, and my initial talk with him was like, "What's going on, man? You know how this stuff is, man." And so when I was looking back at it, when I drove him home that night, I had a little bit deeper conversation with him just about like, it's fine to feel that way and stuff like that. But no, I just wanted to kind of touch on like that guy. That guy is incredible, man, and that dude is as he's better than me at Fortnite 10 times over. And I've been trying to get him on League of Legends because if he just played a game, I know the itch would just be fucking in his soul, and he would just go hard at it, man. But that makes me a little worried because he always likes to one up me, and
He'll
so that
probably hit
means he'd
plat before
probably
you, bro.
be
He'll
a
hit
Lee
diamond.
Sin man.
Oh.
And he would probably
Oh my
say me
god,
like
dude.
every game post in Discord, like, so nah, yeah, man, that guy's literally a little Mike, hyper competitive, but with a head on his shoulders.
I love
Perfect
that.
example, perfect
No,
explanation of that guy, man.
I love that, honestly. And I mean, to kind of go into like the next topic, you kind of started, but like going into a little bit more, and only as much as you want to talk about, but like there's, you know,
Hang on, brother. Okay, one
yeah,
sec.
go
I
for
just
it.
gotta give a shout out to my guy Mel in the stream. This is the guy that I told you that I want to have on in a little bit.
Ooh, okay.
This man is, if you haven't checked, listen, I don't do no promotion for nobody that is not an incredible human. This man has like, seriously, like, you want to talk about an older brother at a time when like my world was just hurricanes and fucking tornadoes. Somebody who just like would just call me on my shit, and sometimes we would go back and forth like brothers do, but like was just never afraid to just call me out of my shit. And for some reason, around my circle, for some reason, people, maybe that's on my own, people aren't too keen on that. It also could be because I'm 6'4", I might be a silverback as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But no, fucking and yeah, that dude. I just want to give a quick shout out to him, man, because that is a true. I can't wait to have that guy on, man, because I already have almost the entire draft of questions done.
I love it.
That guy's story is incredible. But anyway, so yeah, so
No, for
shout out to you,
sure.
brother. But yeah,
Yo, shout outs to Mel. Thank you for following. Thank you for coming through and listening. Hope you enjoy. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we'll look forward to having you on. I'm pumped. I'm
I
pumped.
feel you about the what you're saying though about the next topic.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you wanna, we can go ahead and
Sure. Yeah. So we kind of got into it a little bit with just like getting into some of the more deep and emotional uh things that either are going on or have gone on in your life before. I mean, I think everybody goes through something tough or some dark days, and you kind of mentioned to me now on this podcast as well as previously off stream, off of Twitch, and through just playing together or just even having conversations together offline, that like coming through and playing these games or coming to Twitch and whatever has kind of helped you a little bit through some of these times. And I don't want you to go. I only want you to go as far in depth as you want. But like, I mean, is there anything that you really want to talk about and like, kind of let the people know about some of that like
Yeah.
deep rooted stuff, man?
So kind of the first big thing that I want to talk about, I think it's pretty good to talk about this on the first episode because it really talks about maybe the connection that why we're doing this and why I feel conversation flows so well between us and why I look at you like a brother even though I've never met you and is when I first came around literally and I talked with my lady before, my lady and my mom before like talking about this stuff and they both kind of they gave me the words of wisdom that I kind of knew what I needed to say and knew what I needed not to say, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah, 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 yeah.
I I definitely feel like, you know, talking about, struggles and just hardship is that's a part of my growth because man, I'm not real big on feeling shit. I got to be honest. The one I'm big on feeling two emotions and kind of it's kind of shitty honestly. But it's just how I'm like wired, man. I'm programmed to feel like happiness, love and like anger. Like that's literally it. And that's because of the household I grew up in. But all right, so when I had first was looking through the channels, scrolling to see like who the hell I could kind of play League with, it started with that first. Um, I clicked on Jack's stream and he was actually the first person that talked back to me, and it was this. Even when I talk about it, it feels a little bit corny and out of character talking about it, but I feel like it needs to be talked about more than anything that gets talked about tonight because depression and anxiety and just those feelings are no bullshit and it's not even cool how they make me feel now even talking about it. It sucks to like have this like wall a little bit.
Yeah.
But so at the time of me joining Jack's stream, I had just uh honestly attempted to take my life. Um and I'm even I feel like this is like it's just good to talk about this kind of stuff, man, because I just don't think people would expect this from me. I don't think I come off as a person who would like do something like that, man, because I just have so much riding on me that even when I think about it, I just don't even understand it. Like it's confusing. I a couple years prior to joining Jack's stream, I had gotten a scholarship to play basketball at a Division II college, and I was really happy and excited about that because it was going to help pay for schooling. But I had a really big shoulder injury that took all of that away. And during schooling, and I was slapped with 5 figure, 30 grand tuition sums just like out of the middle of nowhere and I went to private Lutheran school. I'm not even religious, but these guys are like next level with their money, man. And
Right.
so they like booted me out and it happened so fast and I was like at the same time gaining so much weight and kind of losing who I was as a person because I wasn't able to go into the gym because of the surgery and I was wired on some pretty serious medication too, man, and for a little bit too long, man. Some serious painkillers that, them things are no joke, man. Addiction is no joke, seriously. And uh I just felt that there was nothing for me, honestly. I just felt like I had tried everything. At that point, I felt I tried everything to lose the weight, everything. It wasn't working. And my decision was that if I couldn't lose the weight by a certain time period, all right, that's gonna kind of be it. And so I got in my SUV and was going down the main highway here in 94 and kind of curves and goes into a new highway, so it takes like an L turn.
Mhm.
And my plan was to go dead smack into that L turn, and I was actually on my way to do that when like I got this. I'm not a big believer, but I got this like overwhelming like numbness feeling, like like I'm talking like seconds before I'm in that wall, man. And like my whole body is like tingling. And I just pull hard left, and from here, honestly, I don't even. I just have been kind of told what happens. I smack into the wall, and next thing you know, I'm like being like, because I guess I was on the phone, and I'm like hearing what's going on, and then I have to like tell my mom like, oh, nothing, and so I'm like coming to like, what the fuck happened, and so I didn't even honestly, to be completely honest, if my mom were to watch this, this would be the first time she heard about this. So, um, uh, I told her that I just hit the pole turning into the underground, and literally that night I found your channel, and I was actually, while I found your channel, writing, basically deciding if I was gonna like try again tomorrow. And so then tomorrow came after we had you had like completely taken my attention off that task by like just playing League, and me playing Lee Sin and having fun, and games, and then the next day comes and you're streaming again, and you invited me again, and I had told myself that at night was when I was going to start writing again and figuring this out. But again, I was like in Twitch chat, hanging out, playing League, just chatting shit, and it almost became like an everyday thing to where like my thing was to bring my notebook and write about it as I would basically sit in my sorrow, like trying to find people to talk to. It's extremely pathetic to like say out loud, but like, and just the distraction, and eventually like the routine of like joining and playing with Jack and playing with Frosty and sometimes playing with Deza and Undying Killjoy and Buggy and Dallin, you know, took my mind off that and kind of kick-started me getting out of that place, man. Because literally the next month I start intermittent fasting and I lost 30 pounds that month. I also started smoking weed full time. I cut all my prescription medication cold turkey, which I do not recommend at all. That is a horrible decision, but very extreme person for some reason. So that's just like necessary change, I guess. Um, it was like 3 weeks of hell, but what and that's why like I'm such an advocate for marijuana, man, because I've had 4 concussions from football, and so when I mean like racing thoughts, I have other shit going on in my head than just like normal stuff. And I think because of them concussions, I have like extra demons as well, and marijuana helps me shut all that off, man. When all the thoughts are horrible and racing, turns it right off. When I have just a lot of bodily aches and pains from just a life of sports and a life of 21 years of just tough decisions, man. Marijuana helps with a lot of that stuff, man. And I really just wanted to kind of bring to light that big story because, like, honestly, without joining the stream, obviously, I'm not trying to be like an extreme guy and say, anything like that, but I definitely was sitting in front of there planning while I was talking to you guys those first couple of days. And you guys, after the first couple of days, I stopped bringing the notebook and I just came to play. And, that's why sometimes we'll stop talking like in these past few years, all of us, everybody in like the circle, but I'll like always kind of reach out here or there, just like saying, what's up? How you guys doing? Da, 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 da. If my life is busy or anything, to just kind of keep in touch because I'm a firm believer that if you can meet people who can truly help you pull yourself out of a rut, you have to make the effort to keep those people in your life. You just have to because there's not many of those people around anymore. And so yeah, man, it was definitely a crazy time. Definitely, I still, on the day to day, I think, I deal with anxiety. Anxiety is my big thing, my really massive thing, and I inherit that from my mother. My mother is debilitating anxiety, horrible anxiety. And so the anxiety part of it is a lifelong battle that is just something I've inherited, and I've 100% am okay with that. But the depression side of it, I feel like I've lost people personally to that, and so I still struggle with it on here and there, but definitely not to the extent that I did. And I think a lot of that just has to do with surrounding myself with good people and surrounding myself with just good energy, honestly. And
Yeah.
then I know I've been kind of spewing on and on, but the last thing that I kind of wanted to touch on, because it kind
Yeah,
of just
go
gives an
for it, man.
insight to like why Michael is the way he is um you know growing up like from the rip, it was a very, very, very aggressively abusive household. Like aggression and physicality. And I mean in terms of discipline, extreme amounts of unnecessary discipline. Uh, you know, this is where a lot of my beliefs stem from, and where, like, if my father's watching, I don't want to, put him under the bus, but he has been an incredible lesson in all facets, positive and negative. My father struggled very heavily with his anger early on, like very heavily, and so he would, and I don't even want to really like give him no excuses because he would just put his hands on my mother in the whole worst of ways, and you know that aggression, seeing that aggression and just that, and we were constantly in and out of shelters. And I mean, I moved to my mom, we she fled to California, and I went with her. And when we went to California when I was like 7 or 8, 2 months in, I get mauled in the face by a dog, die, like literally brought back to life. Like, so it's like a life of just extreme scenarios and extreme situations, and uh lots of just aggression and just physicality. So when, at first when I was coming around, and there was kind of this like toxic Mike kind of thing, and it was like, kind of justifiable. Um, but when I was like in a bit more of a like kind of unstable place, it kind of fucked with me because like I had worked so hard to like not be this like aggressive person like my dad was, this not this just like aggressor. And you know and I was learning through you guys, and through my relationship, because my at the same time my girlfriend, my lady, had been telling me that I have a tendency to get animated, not like anywhere near her, but just like when I'm passionate about things, I'm like my hands are moving, and I
Yeah,
I might
me
get like
too.
loud. And I'm 6'4", 240. My
Yeah,
girlfriend's 5'1", she don't weigh nothing. So I can't be getting animated and like that near her because that makes her feel scared, you know what I mean?
right.
And
Yeah,
just because of the size difference. And you don't ever want to make the people you love feel scared, man. Never. That happened with my mother one time, and it literally wrecked me, man. I felt so horrible, and it completely changed how I approached people because I wasn't aware of these things, but because of how the household I had grown up in, and because the man that I had been seeing in my life was a man who forced respect. I mean, forced it. And if you were not giving it to him, it was going to get received. And there was hyper just aggression, man. And so like um that's why I just kind of wanted this. I also wanted to use this podcast as just like an opportunity to like talk to you guys, not anybody else, but just like the buff crew, just to kind of give you guys an insight to who I am. Because you know I'm by no means this like person, and even to go back just a little bit, to
yeah,
even show my man Mel, because me and Mel have had circumstances where like blowouts, because I've been around Mel since I was literally like 13. Like Mel's a part of a PlayStation clan that I've been a part of since I was 13, called the Bloodline, and there have been blowouts, massive blowouts that involve me just in that little family. And so I also want to kind of use this as a time to just show people into why I am the way I am, and why sometimes, if we're in a hyper competitive, situation, why like sometimes Mike might, you know what I mean, a little bit too extra or pepper on the top. And it's no excuse at all, not at all, but it's just a little insight, because when you don't know somebody and they're
yeah,
just coming off as aggressive, it's very white and black. You know what I mean? This person
yes,
is this. But when you understand somebody, and you understand what they've been through, and understand like just what they're trying to accomplish, and it's a lot different when you hear that aggressive in the headset. It's different. It's not white and black. It's all Mike's super competitive. We understand that like he just wants to do anything and everything he can to win. It's different, and that means a lot to me in terms of my peers, you guys, because I'm with you guys a lot. Now, it doesn't matter in terms of, if somebody watches this in 2 months down the line on YouTube. But so this is kind of just like a message to my like direct peers, honestly, is that like, you know, by no means have I ever wanted to come off as like this aggressive individual because, I watched the worst kind of aggression my whole entire life, honestly. And so, that is not who I am at all as a person. And so I just, it's also kind of an apology at the same time if I've ever come off as that kind of person. Any kind of blowouts I've had with anybody, maybe down the line if some of the people like, I'm just gonna kind of say off some names I've kind of had little things with, like a good friend of mine, Sean or Nazi Zombie. I've had little hiccups here and there with like Dallin, nothing like serious, just like little like, misunderstandings when we're talking
Yeah.
to each other. Like, that is never anything negative coming my way ever towards you guys. It's all nothing but love for my, personal peers. Yeah. So it's kind of a good little rant. But yeah, yeah.
No, I'm no, dude. I mean, you and I have talked about that first night that you came through before. I remember that story like vividly, right? When you told me, I was just like floored by it, just emotionally, and to hear it again. I mean, obviously to like share it, like thank you, man. Thank you so much for like sharing that with the world because it's such a big like it's a big deal, and I know it can be hard to open up about stuff like that. But I mean, dude, I don't know. To hear it again too, and like to see you to say it too, like it hit me, man. So yeah,
And
nothing but love from all of us, and thank you
I
for
want to
being here, man.
I want to go ahead and take this to the next the next topic too, because the next
Yeah,
topic that we're actually going to get into about my lady,
yeah,
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lady, the person who like is the eye of the hurricane. Like
yeah.
everything around that motherfucker is wild, is fucking firing off in every direction, and there fucking might be some mess ups and some that house might be smashed and that car might be flung that way, but in the eye, it's rock hard and it's solid. And I believe in that. That is like a philosophy that I set for myself young, growing up in a household with very divided parents, extremely divided, is that I wanted to find somebody that I could trust with my life, somebody that I knew that would be 100% willing to accept everything that comes with me, my crazy ass family, my crazy ass ways. Kimberly has been like, and I know maybe it's been for you, but man, my life is crazy. And somebody like Kimberly, somebody who's just, you know, she knows what she wants to get done. She's like, there's no fucking around when it comes to her. There's no beat around the bush shit. Me and her we don't, there's no arguing with us. It's, it's, it's incredible, man. And if you, I've heard the saying like you have to be able to love yourself in order to people, and where I understand that
Yeah.
in my situation, that's not how it worked, man. Because like when Kimberly first got with me, we've been together for we made 5 years in November,
Wow.
on November
Congrats, man.
18th. And when Kimberly first got with me, man, I was the varsity like kind of jock guy, like, and then from that I went to this behemoth. I weighed 430 pounds, and her love for me didn't waver not one bit. While Kimberly is glowing, mind you, she is looking better than ever. She's looking more beautiful than ever, like still looking more beautiful than ever every day. The Anybody else, I feel, leaves that person that I was. Anybody else, like for real.
Yeah.
That person that person was failing at all facets. That person was not enjoyable to be around. And she was around that person every day. And that speaks volumes. And if you don't keep those kind of people around you, man, who are you keeping around you?
Yeah.
What kind of people do you want around you? Because and that's real stuff, man. If you gotta, my philosophy is if the household's strong, your world can be strong. If your wife is happy, your life can be happy. And I truly believe that, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
is it throughout your day, think about any time you and Michelle or anybody in chat, man. Think about any time you and ever you care about, like in that way, have had any kind of disagreements. It puts a hole in your stomach.
Yep.
Like you
It does.
can't even understand. You don't even it's so ridiculous. You can't think, you can't like nothing. And for me, because of my anxiety and because of the like this like hyper anger that I've inherited from my father, man, that shit ain't cool. I don't even like to risk becoming that person. Not because I'm worried that I would ever do anything to Kimberly, but just because I don't even want to yell at Kimberly. I seen my dad yell and call my mom every name in the book and seen what that did to her. That what my dad did to my mom verbally affects her now. And they haven't been together for 10 years. And my but what my dad did to her physically just was affected her then. And so watching that man and understanding the power that a man has on his significant other or just anybody has any man or woman has on their significant other for you to put them down and not support them and trash their demeanor and use hateful terminology and not embrace and just love. What are you doing? What are you in the relationship for?
Yeah.
Because we're all young, you know what I mean? If you're gonna be in a relationship, we know what relationships mean, you know what I mean? At least I do. I know what
Yeah.
they mean for me, and I don't play games with them. And Kimberly has just been an incredible rock for me, man. The only thing that we go a little bit back and forth on is gaming. That's because she, this is what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Every guy, when you're in a relationship, you got to question how much of a hobby is gaming? How much do you love gaming versus how much do you love life?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you're, because I've had times where I'm like playing the game all day, and then I wake up and I play the game till lunchtime, and then I have lunch and I want to play the game again. But guess what? That's not how your relationship works.
No.
You do that a couple times, and in 2 weeks, you got unanswered issues, unanswerable questions, as Sizzle just typed, like
Yeah.
in your household, and they stem from playing the game.
Yeah.
And so it's
So
a
how do you find the balance like between working, doing, making the money, your happiness, your well-being, your healthiness, your relationship, and then your want to game,
honestly, it's like an everyday adjustment.
It is.
And I
I
think
agree.
for like anybody who really uses gaming as like for any facet, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Socially, whatever. I feel like it's like an everyday adjustment
Yeah.
because like some days, she like it's nothing, whatever, you know what I mean? She's like cool, but like some days if she has a bad day at work, you know what I mean? Uh, she after having a bad day at work, rightfully so, will want to spend time with her boyfriend, rightfully so.
Yes.
Just the same way as when I was in high school playing sports after a bad game, even though like in the moment I was kind of like I'm mad because I lost, but
Yeah.
like I want her around me. You know what I mean? I want to be with her because that's the person who neutralizes my mood, who
Yes.
brings my mood up
Yes.
the
100%.
quickest.
Yep.
And that's what it's about. And so in those moments, I've had to mature and understand that like if I want my relationship to work, if I really want my relationship to work, then that'll happen. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'll take care of her and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What Yeah, no man, relationships incredible, man. I would, you know, if if you're not like ready for them, don't do them. But if you find the right girl, man, it does a lot for you, man.
Yeah,
Puts you in the
you
right place
really can
mentally.
grow up for sure. And I mean,
For
no,
sure.
it's honestly huge congratulations to you and to
Thank you, man.
Kimberly, because it's honestly like every time that you are on the stream, whether you meant to mute or not mute, sometimes we hear you and you guys just seem so like endearing of each other and so in love, and it's
The
just so
most
it's
respect.
it's awesome to hear because it's just like that extra level of maturity that we all know you for, and I don't know, to me it's inspiring to hear. But like
I
how you
feel
treat her and like the things that you say and the way that you act and the things that you tell me, like what you guys do on weekends or weekdays and stuff. It's like, man, dude, I could easily be such a better partner and whatnot. And it's awesome, dude. Really cool. Really cool.
Haha, one trick. I feel you, brother. In the background, get your ass to sleep. I feel that, bro. But no,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. All right,
Yeah.
brother. You wanna
Yeah.
finish
Honestly,
that
yeah.
GT?
Guys, we're almost wrapped up with the questions here, so be sure to, if you have any for us, drop them in chat, drop them in Discord, whatever. But the last thing that I wanted to end on is kind of just like, if you, what's one thing? Okay, I'm just gonna quote the question because I remember writing this out. Okay, so what is one thing that you would share with young Mike jumping into the grind of Call of Duty, the grind of League, anything really, something that you wish you knew then that you know now, or even what's one thing that has surprised you kind of in this journey, with being on with Twitch, being on even all the way getting from us meeting till now, like what's one thing that has surprised you or that you never thought would have happened during that
Okay.
time?
So I definitely think one thing that I would tell my younger self to just be cool with who you are. Like, you don't have to, society is so categorized, and you don't have to be that way. You can just be you, and you are ever changing. Category is ever changing. Like, one day I, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm an ever, and I just think that I would tell myself that at a younger age from somebody like me, because there's nobody, and I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal or say I'm better than anybody, but you just need the correct role models in your life to pull you from places. And that's one thing I would just pull myself out sooner and let myself know, like, it's cool to be you, man. Those things that you're thinking of doing, just do them. Like, tackle them. And not don't be here's the one thing. Become friendly, familiar with the feeling of anxiety. Because this is something that I'm trying to do even today in my life. Completely change the topic.
Yeah.
But this is a concept that I just read in a book just 3 months ago, a book by Warren Buffett. I wish I remember the name. But just to
Old man
become
Buffett.
familiar and friendly with that anxiety, that horrible feeling. Anxiety has run through my life rampant, and so if I could figure those words out sooner, I think I would be able to be at a I'd have been at a better spot in terms of healing from my anxiety now. Like, because I would have started my healing sooner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, one thing about League that I would tell myself is like, holy shit, am I committed? Like my first season of I literally leveled my account up to level 30 and jumped into ranked the next game. And I played anyone can go op.gg this. I played over 1,200 games my first season to get from bronze 5, and I ended silver 5. 1,200. I was not staying in bronze my first season. I don't give a fuck. I played so many games. I went from a Tryndamere main to a Kindred main to a Lee Sin main. The Lee Sin started coming out when I got into silver because I had to get frisky on him. And, maybe that's why I'm still hard stuck silver. But that's a topic for a different discussion. Like, I would just definitely tell myself, like, dude, man, like, chill. Like, don't play 30 games in a week. Like, you can relax. Like, the game is here. Like, I just pumped so many hours, bro, into the first season that, like, my next season was burnt. I was done. I was like, I'm over this shit, man. I do not care anymore. And now I'm getting back into that grind, man, where I want to hit plat real bad. I think I'm a little too late this season. I'm gonna see though. I'm making a good push. I'm playing pretty phenomenal. All right. So I think it's possible. I definitely think it's
Yo,
possible.
I
But
love it.
one thing that I definitely would say about, something I didn't expect about this whole journey is with like, you guys, I definitely didn't expect for you, this whole thing to mean as much as it does to me. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I keep reiterating like I'm not a big feeler. Like I don't know. It just doesn't do much for me. And so when I like started to realize that like some of the relationships I was like having here, I started to really care about. I think that was a surprise to me, and
Yeah,
a good surprise,
yeah,
because it came on the internet, and but a good surprise, So that's definitely like probably the thing I want to end on is just that, it's pretty awesome. Just everyone here that's still watching. GT, you're shit at Vayne, you're shit at Lee. I'm better than you at mid, and I can prove it, brother. So let's get in the
oh
1v1s.
my
So what you trying
god,
to do, brother?
oh
I know you
my
see what GT's
god,
question, brother.
did you see it?
Brother, what do you mean?
Oh my god, bro.
What
Hold
do
on.
you
I'm gonna
mean?
have to pull it up, dude.
We
Anyway,
gotta end us on a flame
yeah.
at GT.
Yo, dude. Okay, guys. Well, I mean, I don't know if we can even top that, but um Mike, anything you want to shout out where people can find you, or any closing words, thoughts, encouragement to the people while I pull up GT's one, the only question. Guys, also, if you have any questions in chat right now, let us know. But what do you got for us, Mike, before while I pull up
Yeah,
GT's thing here?
yeah, Brody. If you guys wanna follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/BGMichael underscore. BGMichael, how it's spelled, just with an underscore. You'll see my beautiful face with some beautiful ocean water behind it. Man, I don't know, bro. I just hope everybody spends less time spewing negativity, spend more time just trying to have a good time and love each other, man. Because just like that, man, you can think everything's good, and next thing you know, it's not. So I
Yeah,
just think that if we just spend more time just appreciating the moment and being nice to each other, man, that's what I would just really love. Is
yeah.
if we just be nicer, man. That's the last thing I want to just say. Be
Word,
nice,
word.
apes.
All right, here's a question from GT, specifically for Mike tonight. If you're an ADC main, how do you not know how to build Vayne? Question mark.
Bro, this guy was telling you to W max on Vayne. Like I don't even know this guy. This guy plays Vayne mid and top. I feel like this guy
That's
builds
Tim, dude.
Mercurial's first item. I feel like GT like would max his condemn. Like I don't even know where GT's getting these games from, bro. GT, if you want to know the Vayne build, bro, you can get spicy with Bork first, okay? That's doable if you want to get spicy. But if you're a real man, you go straight IE, Berserkers, Shiv, PD, GA, Lord Doms. That's it. And you just hard carry the game. None of that bullshit, none of that anything else. And you just go full damage in one shot. That's worked for me.
Oh my god.
But you know what I will say though? Putting Ginsu's in, the last thing I want to say about putting Ginsu's in there actually works really well because I've actually been liking that recently, going Bork, Ginsu's, and then maybe IE. So I've been testing that waters too because Ginsu's, man, is OP. They got to do something about that. Ginsu's and Bork. The fact that Misfortune can build Bork and is strong should
That
show that
okay,
they
yeah,
need
I
to
ran
nerf
into
it.
that the other day. That was weird that
Dude,
she was super good
she
with it.
she beats you down with every auto.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah,
makes
I don't know.
sense.
Be nice, nerf Bork. That's it.
Okay, here we got one more coming in. If you could make a weapon, what would it look like and what would it do? Is
Oh,
this an item
go
question
ahead,
or is
bro.
this a weapon question?
Go ahead, brother.
I need clarification real quick. If it's like an item or if it's like an actual a weapon. Dude, there's so many weapons in the world. What? Okay. This is
Mine
gonna
would
get
be a bow and arrow.
us banned. Dude, honestly, I would just build some. I don't know what it would look like, but I'm into the bomb side of
Oh.
things because I want to be very passive about my usage of weaponry because I don't want to have to confront somebody, man. If I'm building a weapon, I'm going to be like from the back corners of an island and then just and then it's all done and then the battle's over, man. Like
Feels bad.
I'm not
Like a
a
true
yeah.
American.
Okay, Kona, brother. I'm
Yo.
just not about like. I mean, there's something real cool sounding in my head about running in and sword slashing somebody or true Lord of the Rings somebody, but I'm about if I was to actually be in a fight, you know I'm gonna be in the back trying to hit you from afar. Like, let's just take this outside the context of a weapon. If I'm in a fight,
This is
I
funny,
am
bro.
so small. I am not going to run at you head on and beat you down. I will die.
Bro.
So I'm gonna be kiting you, bro. That's why I play AD, man. Like, why else do you think I'm not about to melee form? Yeah, I'm about to be an AD IRL, dude. I'm gonna poke you and kite you from the side until you're gone, bro. In a fight, okay?
Dude, my shit would be like some Elder Scrolls bow, and then the arrows would have shit on them. So when you got hit with
literal
literal feces. So when you got hit with the arrows, arrow, but it has shit on it. And do you know what happens when feces gets into your bloodstream?
you die
Yeah,
of
bro, that's a
syphilis or
painful death.
whatever,
That's a painful death.
or
I'm launching shit,
dysentery.
bro. Monkeys shoot. They throw shit at humans in zoos. I'm one of them, bro. I'm loading this shit up. Bop! At the top. Lord of the Rings, I'm at the top, bro. Just, it's shit with
19,
fire, bro.
20,
Shit,
21, 22.
All you see, bro, all you smell is just, it's the worst, bro. Yeah, that's me, man.
Oh my god, dude. How tall
Yes,
am
bro.
I?
What he
I'm
just
5'5", 5'6", on a good day. 5'6" on a good day. Oh my god, that's so
He's
funny.
5'2".
Wait, I'm taller than T1, man. Wait, come on. I have proof. I have
That dude has
picture
no
proof.
neck. I love it, bro. I love people who are so muscly.
They have no neck, bro.
It's
His
a great
traps are
laughing
his
point.
neck, dude.
It's a great laughing
Oh my
point.
god. That's too funny. Anyways. Alright guys. Anyways. Oh, you added a question? I didn't see it. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Oh, okay, here we go. Ooh, this is a good one. Coming from Frosty. What's one thing y'all wish you'd do better in League? From
Like,
Torchy
I
to
tell
Mike,
you,
and
you
then
tell
Mike to...
me.
Yeah, okay.
You can go first. Go ahead.
What's one thing you wish you'd do better in League? Okay.
Like, you're telling me
Yeah.
what I could do better.
Yeah, I think... I mean, lately, when we've been playing, things have been really good, and everything that you're doing has been what I expect out of my jungler, and what I want to see done out of my jungler, but I guess one thing would just be, in the event of a really hyphy play where you see the opportunity, try to call it out faster so that I can react in time to be there to follow up. Because my biggest thing is, like, I hate that feeling of knowing that you're making this massive play that I could have been a part of, and then it kind of goes wrong, and I feel bad you die or something like that. Like, just like that's one extra second of like, yo, I see this thing, let's go, and then it's like, okay, I'm with you. I don't know. That's it.
All right. I feel that. Respect. Okay.
Flame me as hard as you want on this. This is fine. I know I suck, so just go.
The biggest thing I could tell you is to stop building defensive.
Okay.
Completely delete Mercurial's shit batar out of your fucking mind. Like, every time you build that item, it tilts me off the face of the earth. That item nukes you so hard. When you build that item, you're basically saying, fuck me! Like, that's literally what you're saying. Like, you're gonna get out of the CC, but you're not staying alive. It's my whole point right now is because League is, especially with ADs, you know, everything is real damage centric. Like, everyone here is doing damage right now. I don't know if you noticed. Everybody. So because of that, like, getting like ninja tabbies that have like 25 armor, like, or Mercurial Scimitar that has 35 magic resist, like, that doesn't do shit. Like, literally nothing. Especially at the point when you build it. Like, it's not doing anything for you other than getting you. So if you're definitely in a game where you need the QSS, because I've seen people, what I see more often is just people keeping the QSS, and then the game ends and their build is like the last item is the QSS. They'll like sell it if, like, you know, they want to go full damage. But that's how I've seen more people incorporate that. But that would be about it. Just the defensive builds, you know. AD is just right now just blitzing the shit out of people, just being confident in your ability to blitz people as well. It's like one thing I was doing, dude. I played Tristana. I played against her, right? This dude literally level 2 jumped on top of me and just all one shot me. I was like, wait, your jump slows people and it just it just beat my ass. I played the next game, went on a 5-game win streak with a level 2 just jumping on top of people and all inning them, and it's just like, wow. And it's just aggression, and that's how
Yeah.
I've been climbing. Is just with aggression, being first. So defensive builds, that would just be it, man. Build selfish, build for yourself, build to dominate.
Okay.
Silverback shit.
This small flex at the end, dude. I like it. I like it. That's good. Okay. Any other questions, boys? We'll give you a few more seconds, but I don't know, guys. I'm really just pumped that we got to do this first episode. I'm really looking forward to doing more in the future, and in the future it's gonna be me and Mike co-hosting, interviewing someone else. So it's gonna be pretty dope. Of course, shoot us some ideas of people you want to see on board. I think we are currently looking at getting Loft Jeezy on here soon, Daddy Steve on here soon, and then after that, I mean, the floor is open. You guys give us some ideas of people who you want to see on. Yeah, I see that question coming through. Who are you gonna have next? Yeah, that I don't have the exact schedule for sure. We need to talk to the others, but it's gonna be Loft and Steve for sure coming up, and then after that, we're gonna be looking for more people. Who's on my ideal Clash team? Oh shoot, dude. Honestly, my ideal Clash team right now is the 5-man that we're running for Stream Wars, and then substituting Cam in for anybody really, because Cam plays everything except for mid, I think. So, I mean, anytime we've played Clash, I think we're undefeated, and in most of our Stream Wars, we're undefeated minus we dropped one game because of Tim, because Tim sucks. But does Mike know about APOC being back?
He
Yeah, do you hear that?
streams.
I don't think he's streamed yet, but he's back. He's visited.
You know what? I was gonna say good on him, but that would be fake of me because I was not keeping that energy when he was locked up. So I'm gonna keep the same energy I kept when he was locked up when he's out. Fuck him. No, I'm joking.
Should
Nah, but
I
good
feel
on him, man.
like I
Being
don't
locked up
know.
is horrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My brother's locked up right now, so I understand what that does too. So I hope he's cool mentally, and I hope the train didn't pass him. Real shit. That's my honest shit right there. So I
Yeah.
hope he's cool mentally, and I hope the train didn't pass him in terms of streaming.
I think if he would be down, I would be kind of interested to have him on. But I feel like that is gonna be a kind of a meme of a interview in terms of from the chat perspective. So I'm not sure how. I don't want to disrespect anybody either. I want this to actually be like fun and at the same time bring out some serious cool stuff. So I don't know.
And there's probably a lot of stuff with that guy that
We
only
don't know.
he
That's
knows,
the thing is like we don't know. I personally, because of the timing from when he like left, like I don't know a lot about him, and that's why I want to know more about him and like what's up if he'd be down. So that's definitely an option. But
I feel that.
yeah.
Sure.
Anyways, with that being said, guys, that's gonna probably end our first episode of Shining Light. So hopefully you enjoyed. Definitely give us some feedback through Discord. I think coming up next, what we're gonna do. Take a short break. Everyone go get some water, use the bathroom, do whatever you gotta do, and then we're gonna hop into some league games. So hopefully you guys can stick around and have fun with that. But
Hey, it's pretty awesome, bro. That was
yeah.
awesome, dude. Really awesome. I can't wait for the next one, bro. We'll
Yeah.
definitely, we'll be talking about when get it on, get it
Yep.
cracking. And it would also, it'd be awesome too. We don't always have to have somebody on too. Just to get on and talk about what's going on in like gaming and stuff. Or
Yep.
get on and, it can be a quick little. I feel like this one was just really long, as like more of an introduction.
It's an intro, yeah, for sure.
Normally, like 30 minutes. Check maybe we do one together when like the league patch drops, or like
That's
when
good.
you know what I mean, or
Yeah.
when just whatever. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
it doesn't have to have somebody every
When
single
the
time.
finals happen,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. So, anyways, cool. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Stick around for a little bit. We're gonna get some games in coming up. So, boys, thanks so much. Thanks to Mike again, and we'll see you guys back here in a few. All right.
Peace.